Dr. Shikha Sharma, the Japanese have forgotten how to make babies. We can teach them. We have the technology. Look at Russia, 40, United States, 38. Their demographic windows of opportunity are closing. Mr. Trump talks about looking inwards and enabling America to rise again. He is aware of what is happening. Uganda and Niger, 2 countries in Africa, the median age is 16. Now, what they do the whole day, I have no idea. You should find out. Western Europe, median age 44. The Pope says Europe is an elderly and haggard continent. And my teacher at the Sorbonne, Alfred Sauvy, said, Europe will be a continent of old people living in old homes, discussing old ideas. The last 30 years, no innovation out of Europe. Think about this. I'm an observationist. I observe. Number 1, innovation, US. Number 2, China. Number 3, Japan. Number 4, in IT, India. 3 out of 4 largest countries for innovation are in Asia again. Where is Europe? Where is the continent? 15% of the world's population ruled 85% for 200 years. Do you want that to happen again? Because a country that does not recognize its history has no future. And in India, we recognize our history. We made mistakes, so they came to rule over us. But never, never, never again. Is that a promise from you to me? Never, never, never again. Let me tell you, by 2020, how many years to 2020? 2 years. We will be the youngest country in the world. This, my dear children, is the best time to be young in India. May I be young again. May I be born again. And may I be a young Indian. I'm still young, but may I be an even younger Indian today. Old Hindi song for those of you who speak Hindi. Koi lauta de mere beete hue din. May someone return my youth to me. I would love to see that happen. Education. 320 million students in India. And 52% are our daughters. 52% of our students. You can shout and scream all you want about the quality of the education, whatever. The numbers speak for themselves. Almost 60,000 universities and colleges. We had 500 in 1950. The rate of literacy in India in 1950, look at the figures, I haven't invented these figures, was 7%. How much? 7%. 2018, we've just crossed 82%. 2022, we'll be 100%. In this country, and Kerala, God's own country, has shown the way. What 100% literacy. Consumer spending in India, ha ha. Do we know of any village in Kerala that doesn't have a beauty parlor? There's none in Punjab where I come from, or in Delhi, or in Odisha, or in Telangana, or in Andhra Pradesh, or in West Bengal, or in Jammu and Kashmir. Every village has a beauty parlor because 96% of our consumption expenditure is on looking better. Second, eating better. Do you have a McDonald's here? That's not eating better, that's eating rubbish. But we have a McDonald's, we have a Pizza Hut, we have a Domino's, we have a Dabba Wala here who gives you the best food. He's going to talk to you in a little while. Living better. When is the last time you saw a hut in a village? Do you have any in Kerala? We have none even in the poorest states of India. None. They may have a thatch roof, but it's a permanent structure where they live. Connecting better. 1 billion mobile phones in India. How many of you have mobile phones? Give me the correct answer. How many have mobile phones? Smartphones. Smart mobile phones. Come on, sir. I don't see your hand going up. Right. Now, put your hands down. How many of you, like me, have dumb mobile phones? Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't put up my hand. Everybody has smartphones. Nobody has a dumb phone. Do you know, according to the World Wealth Report, India's private wealth is $8.2 trillion. Trillion has 12 zeros. The 6th largest in the world. and then they say we are a poor country. Private wealth, that Malaiwala fellow, what's his name, who's run off to England? Malaiwala? What? Malaya, Malia, whatever his name is. Amalia. So he's also run off. Part of this $8.2 trillion which he's cheated according to the government belongs to the country. I'll spend a moment on this. 2011, Sikkim was devastated by an earthquake. September. I went with the Doordarshan team to film what they were doing. We asked international experts, how long will it take to open the road from Siliguri to Gangtok? Gangtok is the capital of Sikkim. You've heard of Sikkim, right? One of the most beautiful states of India, like Kerala. We asked the international experts, how long will it take to open the land route? They said up to 6 weeks. The then Prime Minister said, we can't wait 6 weeks. Sardar Manmohan Singh. He said, ask the Border Roads Organization, BR, Border Roads, to see if they can do anything. I know this because I personally was there. We asked the Director General, we said, sir, start working to open the road. Call me when it's open. Do you know, 19 hours later, I got a call saying the road is open. 6 weeks is what they told us, and 19 hours. Once the Prime Minister of Lesotho asked me for a suggestion to solve a problem. I said, sir, you have so many advisors, ask them. He said, no, I want to ask you. I said, all right, sir, my advice is try this. He did. The problem got solved. Then he called me to his office and he says, Deepak Vohra, are you God? I said, no, sir, I'm an Indian. That's the next best thing. And that is the strength that we see in India. And I'll spend a minute for those of you who can see this picture. This young kid, 22 years. This is Sikkim. On the right of the slide is the Tista River. He's drilling to open the road for my team to cross. This was one of the landslides. As you can see, the road is completely broken. This fellow was drilling, and I'm screaming at him from 100 yards, son, be careful, be careful. And as I'm watching, the stone on which he's standing, it breaks. I have that image captured in my mind. And I see him tumble 80 feet to his death. I rush down with my team. With my right hand, I push his brain back into his skull. I carried his body to his house. His mother was a 55-year-old Sikkimese woman. I told her, I said, look, sister, I'm sorry I brought your son's body. He was doing it for me. He was making a road for my team. So whatever money we are getting, we are giving it to you. I'll give you a compensation. The government will give you a huge compensation. Is there anything else we can do? She said, yes, sir, you're a special advisor. You have influence. Get my younger son a job. He's 20. He's finished his first degree. And I said, ma'am, your elder child you sacrificed for India. He died for India. What do you want me to do for your younger child? Your elder child was in border roads. Where shall I, which civil organization shall I get your younger son a job? This daughter of India replies, get him a job in border roads so I can sacrifice him for India. Beta, I'm not Indian. That woman, that mother in Sikkim, she is a true mother of India. We will handle it ourselves. Cyclone Phylin in Odisha 2013. We did it. 2018, your floods, you've done it yourselves. In Yemen, we evacuated several thousand people. The Indian Army was the only one able to do it. We brought out some French nationals, sir, in July of 2015. I went to France in November for a reunion of my university. The French immigration guy looks at my passport and says, Ambassador of India? I said, yes. He said, sir, wait, I'm coming out. And he comes and stands in front of me. He says, you brought 40 Frenchmen out of Yemen. I said, if we did a mistake, we'll take them back. He said, no, sir. Thank you, India. This man tells me, thank you, India, police officer, saying thank you, India, for saving the lives of 40 French nationals. Amazing, isn't it? These people thanking us. That's a lovely picture of Manmohan Singh ji when he was Prime Minister with Mrs. Gandhi. And in front of them is the British then Prime Minister David Cameron. This is a cartoon from The Economist magazine. And the British Prime Minister bowing in front of the Indian. and saying, please give us some money, my country has no money, please give us some money. I must have been having drinks when I saw this cartoon, but this is the reality that we are seeing today. The rise of people's direct action is the fourth mega trend in India. Media activism, judicial activism. You all know the story of chief ministers being put in jail. There are, at this point of time, at least 2 former chief ministers of Haryana and of Bihar who are in jail. There's a famous Bollywood actor. Everybody was very happy that he was acquitted. He was not. He was given bail. Let me promise you, if the case goes as it should, this guy will spend a lot of time in jail because the law is now equal for everybody. Beta, this is the new India. This India is owned by its people, not by any individual. Just one digression on food. Sir, Mr. President, do you know what hunger is? Do you know what hunger is? You don't. Sir, do you know what hunger is? I'll tell you. 1965, we fought a war with Pakistan. 1966, the rains failed. Do you remember that, sir? 67, the rains failed. We had to import 9 and 11 million tons of food from the United States. We were living on what is called ship to mouth. The ship would bring us the food, the wheat to eat. And Mondays we were not supposed to eat. Ma'am, you might remember that. We were not supposed to have a meal, not have dinner. Ask me. Not that my father couldn't afford it, but he was a loyal Indian and he said no. And a 15-year-old kid sleeping hungry, let me assure you it wasn't easy. And this country that begged for food, and Mrs. Gandhi turned around and told her assistant, India will never beg for food again. This country that spread its hands and said, feed us, is in 2018 the second largest producer of food in the world. Your country. This is the mega trend we are seeing. This is the change we are seeing. India's consumer story, according to Goldman Sachs, will be shaped by people like you. We call you the Gen Z, born after 2000. People like you and I. Those fellows in the front row are all oldies. They don't know. But we have to shape the future of this country, and Goldman Sachs says this will be the world's most compelling story for the next 20 years. We can do it because we are Indians. 2015, Prime Minister said we will have 20 gigawatts. 1 gigawatt is a billion watts. We'll have 20 gigawatts of solar energy. We will have it by 2022. Announcement made in 2015. People said, you can't do it. We said, oh yeah, we'll show you. 4 years ahead of schedule, on 31st January 2018, we produced 21 gigawatts of solar energy. This is India's strength. People come to our hospitals. They see, we gave over 2 million medical visas last year. People coming for treatment. One of the presidents of Africa I'm privileged to serve came. When we treated him, repaired him, he said, can I see the bill? I said, no, sir. You're a guest of my government. Atiti Deva Baba. He said, no, I want to see the bill. We said, all right, see the bill. He saw it. He said, there's 1 zero missing. It can't be that cheap. I said, sir, we are Indians. We don't cheat our friends. We might cheat each other, but we don't cheat our guests from overseas. And he rubbed his eyes in disbelief and he said to me again, he said, Ambassador Deepak, that's why you are destined to be the best country in the universe. And I said, there's no doubt about that, Your Excellency. So what should you do as an Indian? Have faith and confidence in yourselves. Do not allow cynicism to affect you. And do you know, if you have to be scared, be afraid of fear. As we say in Hindi, darna hai to dar se daro. The great dictator Genghis Khan, my hero, said, if you are afraid, don't do it. But if you do it, then don't be afraid. That is India's philosophy. When we set our minds on something, and clap if you want to, my dear young lady, don't be afraid. Your national anthem, wo hai Bharat Bhagya Vidhata. We are his soldiers. We are not Indians because we live in India. Dr. Shikhar Sharma, we are Indians because India lives in us. I have just one request for all of you young kids here. Write the destiny of India with your own hands so that no one else is able to write it for us. For too long have others shaped the future of India. Now, India will shape its future itself. I touch my ears because I ask God to forgive me for saying that we will write our destiny ourselves. Height of the Kargil War. Have you heard of the Kargil War, 1999? Young Indian soldier, or not even a soldier, villager, comes to register for the army. People asked him, how can you? Both his legs were cut off below the knees. They said to him, you cannot join the army, you are handicapped. You don't have your legs below your knees. This kid pulls himself up and replies, gentlemen, I have come to fight, not to run. Look at the spirit of this boy. I have come to fight, not to run. We are the brave men and women who work while others sleep. We stay while others run. My dear sons and daughters, my dear colleagues, let us build India's pillars deep and lift them to the sun. Let's take India so high that whoever looks at us, he topples over. Do it for us, do it for yourselves, do it for the generations to come. Incredible India, chafing, churning, changing. Here's a book by an American diplomat, published this year. India, Our Time Has Come. How India is shaping its place, making its place in the world. Swami Vivekananda had said the future India will be much greater than ancient India. All of you who were sleeping can now wake up. Thank you so much for giving me your attention. I can't hear you clap. Something very personal. In my family, we have a child. We had a child who fought for India in Kargil. He died there. So my own memorial, I've asked the Indian Army to build for me one in Kargil where I'm special advisor. My mother was a Buddhist. So in front of a statue of Buddha, they built my memorial. And what it states, please sir, written on that memorial is, because our child died there, close to where he lost his life defending India. It says, scattered in the dust, silent I remain. When India's bugle calls, I will rise again. Thank you very